What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about Iris Energy Limited. Symbol is IREN. This one comes to us at the request of 087RR. We're doing this one for you, my man. So I've actually never heard of this one before, but it is a Bitcoin mining. I don't know if they mine Bitcoins. I was looking into it a little bit. What is IREN? And Iris Energy Limited owns and operates Bitcoin mining data centers. So they own multiple Bitcoin mining data centers apparently. Anyways, from low, let's get into this and do the TA. From low to high here, you've had an overall growth since, what was it, basically December, yeah, late December of last year. So like within this year, you've had a 700% growth total. Still at this current low, you're at about a 313% growth total. That's pretty awesome. That means you gave back 50% of it, right? You're at like, yeah, 50% drop right now. If we're looking at this thing, let's start on the monthly actually. A lot of volume, definitely a lot of volume coming in. That's nice to see. Not such a good month, but whatever. How much? What's the market cap of this thing? They got a market cap of 234 million with an M. That is encouraging, man. That's definitely encouraging. A lot of growth potential for something like that. So let's see, and potential that it might not, but like who knows? You're more likely to go from 243 million, like going to $1 billion. You're going to make more money off of that than $1 billion asset going to $2 billion. You know what I mean? So, anyways. Low to high here, looks like you might be going down to the 382, especially with the way this month looks. You probably see prices around $3.66, which from the current price would imply that we're going to drop about another 12 to 15%. You could go a little bit below the 382 and still be fine. You might, the possibility to even go into the 618 or even form a double bottom or maybe even a lower low is possible. It's there, but there's not enough data to really go off of and tell us. Let's see. Let's look at this, maybe. I want to go on the weekly. Let me see. I don't know. I mean, this is the all-time high. That's the IPO cost itself, right? Let's see. I mean, yeah, man, you rejected the 618 on the dot, and again, this 382 down here is right at $3.63. That fits that range. You very well could hold this, especially with the fact that you've got higher highs and higher lows forming. Something like that wouldn't be too out of the question. Let's see, from bottom to top here, you are finding a little bit of support on the 618. If you were to go down to the 786, cool, that's fine. That's an area where you can bounce off for sure. Anyways, looking at this here, kind of have a slanted like inverse head and shoulders, don't you? It's kind of nice, man. It's actually kind of nice looking, to be completely fair. You've got shoulder there. You've got your head here. Well, maybe not there. It's like this, right? Here's your head, and then here's your other shoulder right there, right? You've got a nice shoulder, head, shoulder. Gotta love it, man. And then you broke the neckline, and you're actually retesting it potentially even. I know what this looks like, guys. Looks like a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder. Don't get confused. Anyways, moving on from that, looking at the weekly, I've got some raccoons in the kitchen making noise. Apparently, they don't have good hands. They keep dropping things. So let's see, from low here to low here, you've got a lower low while maintaining a higher low in the price. That would indicate hidden bullish divergence, and you tend to see this kind of thing play out more so in an uptrend, which it looks like you're in an uptrend to me. It looks like you broke out of this pattern to me. You are retesting the neckline. Some people might say that you broke below this neckline, which wouldn't be good, but I think this is slanted, so I think it's okay. I think really what you're doing, right, is you're testing like this kind of line here. You're not even down there yet, so we can even raise it a little bit. As long as you don't break that line, I think you're in good shape, and I don't think you will. That's right around that like 360, 364. Maybe it does. Maybe it is a little bit lower. I don't know. It looks good to me, man. That's all I'm trying to say. Very big candle here, very engulfing bullish candle with a lot of volume, the most volume you've ever seen by a large degree. How much money was that? Let's do I've been doing this a little bit. Let's see. So on a volume basis, and again, this isn't like somebody bought 23 million, because that's what it says up here in the orange, right? It's not that somebody bought 23 million shares of this. I mean, that could have been what happened, but more likely what happened is somebody bought some people sold some, you know, like between 23 million, there were some that were bought and some that were sold, you know, but every buy is a sell, every sell is a buy. There were 23 million that were transacted. If I wanted to, if I had bots that could take 10 shares and just sell and buy and sell and buy, like enough to equal 23 million in one day, I could do that all with 10 shares. So it's not, don't think of it as like, oh, 23 million total shares were exchanged in this day. No, it's probably smaller than that, but still 23 million times the lowest price itself on that day was $1.80. I mean, that's 23.8 million. The highest price was $5. Let's go like right in the middle. Let's say 250. So that would be about a $50 million like US dollar amount that was transacted throughout that whole day, or actually that whole week, and the total market cap is about 4 times higher than that. That's a nice volume, man. That is actually really nice volume to see. And anyways, looking at that, looking on the weekly, I really do like this RSI a lot. Just because you're below the 50 doesn't mean anything bad. Maybe you do come down to the oversold zone. Maybe you can, you know, like come down here and like have a slow bleed, but ultimately have a higher low. I don't know though, man. I kind of would prefer to believe that you will find a low at 364, if not a little bit lower than that. But I wouldn't think that you break this low personally. That's just my opinion looking at it roughly right here. Let's see. So looking on the daily, this RSI is oversold, and it's actually almost some of the most oversold that's ever been, excluding the first initial readings that you got here. Man, and you're bouncing off of the purple line. Look at that. That's nice to see. Well, you're not bouncing off it yet, are you? You're kind of finding significance on it, but you could go below it. You went below it here, and you were fine. Kind of floated above it here, so maybe you know, like some charts, it's not the purple line itself that is the thing to be respected. It's the overall area, you know, overall area. Like this one up here, it was the area of the purple line. This back here, it was the area of the purple line, not quite on it. But maybe it's not the purple line at all. Maybe there isn't any respect. But nonetheless, you are, once you get below here, and let's see where you are on the long-term RSI. You're below the 50. I don't know. That's okay. But man, this looks constructive. This does look constructive on the long term too. Nice to see. That's for sure. Pretty extreme drop, man. Like that is very, I bet you're going to see a nice bounce out of this. What would that take you to? Like if you were to go back to this previous high just from the current price, that's it's an overall gain of 89%. I might have to get in this thing, man. This doesn't look bad. And it looks like whenever it moves up, it actually likes to move up fairly quickly. 087R, man, you are doing RR. You're doing good with the recommendations. I know not all of them have been good, but I think like only one of them actually was not good, and every other one has been a nice chart to look at. I definitely like this, man. Volume is decreasing as you're coming down. That means it doesn't mean this, but the way I like to think of it is like there's more interest in this thing as it's going up. There's less interest in it as it's going down. So I think, you know, you're at a previous area where you found resistance before on a closing basis. You could start to see some interest come in to the side of buying. You know, I think you do have a higher low scenario playing out here. I do want to look at this maybe right here, from this low to this high, double top right there. You're right at this 618, man, and that 393. You could go to the 786 there. I don't know. Hard to say. Really hard. You might not even go that low, man. You could bounce right here. Honestly, I don't know if you do. I would think that you go lower. Looking at this RSI, man, I would think that you go lower. You're at some of the deepest that you've been in a while. The last time that you were this deep, you started going here, and you just bled down, formed a flat base. So if you weren't to go lower, you would probably go slightly lower, but like move sideways overall. But I do think that you have a little bit more left in you to the downside. But this is a pretty extreme drop, right? Last time you saw something that was like this magnitude, you bounced up pretty quickly, moved sideways, and then continued to move forward. Then you had a less intense drop, and then you had a very intense, a nice run up there. I like the way this looks, man. I really do. On a 1 hour, yeah, you're dabbling, you're floating, you're swimming in the oversold zone. I bet you do see like one final push. It does look like a weak RSI. In the short term. So that's really all I got to say on this thing, man. I don't want to continue too much further into this. I would say I feel very comfortable in saying that it's probably not done going up from here. I mean, you did get overbought. there is potential. If you were to see an oversold zone in this long-term RSI, you likely would, or short-term RSI, I'm sorry, you likely would see prices that are below 280, likely. But I don't know if you get that. You do have hidden bullish divergence. You might be at the end of this move down. There's not any volume coming in. Volume is declining as you're moving down. The bigger candles are still to the upside. Last week you had a pretty decent candle at 22%, but the bigger, this one was 43%, to take you up, and you had a lot more volume. Not like a lot more, but significant enough, definitely more volume. Like, let's just see here. You had, for example, you had $9.6 million or 6 million shares transacted. Here you had 7. So that's a solid like 33% or something like that, right? Anyways, I like the way it looks. I do think it goes down in the short term, and then ultimately it probably goes higher. Where will it go? Where will it top off? Stuff like that. Probably look at the weekly here just to kind of get a better idea. I don't know, man. Hard to say. I like the way, since this top, I don't normally take the top from the first day, but this is a stock, so it's an IPO thing. It's not like the first day it was listed on an exchange. This is actually like its IPO, I would assume. And it's respecting the 618, respected the 0.5, respected the 236, even respect the 382 a little bit. I think this thing is the right fib to take it off of. So if you break above your all-time highs at $28.25, you likely will see prices that are above $69, maybe even up to $219. What would that do to the price from this current placement? That would give you like a, what is that, 15x, almost a 16x, to potentially a 50x. That would be 50-51x. That'd be cool. Looking at the market cap, if it was to do a 100x, that would put it at $23 billion. So 50x would be a $10 billion market cap. That's achievable. I don't know how big these guys are. I don't know how productive, but man, it's involved with crypto. They do mining, so if the bull run's good, their stock's probably going to do good. They'll reinvest their funds into their equipment, hopefully. You know what I mean? And just the way that this bottom looks, man, the way that this structure is, it does look like an inverse head and shoulders to me. It looks pretty nice. The volume reading isn't quite the same. I mean, technically, I think it's supposed to be like volume is decreasing up until you break out of the right shoulder, where here you had a spike. You didn't break out. This is like forming the head still, but I don't know. This overall bottom does look good. You have the head. You have like a baseline here for your shoulders, and you got the neckline up here. I don't know. Regardless of that, though, man, I think that it does have potential. This thing could 100x because $23 billion is an achievable market cap for something like this. It could even go higher than that. So a multi-100x is possible for this thing. If it was to do a multi-100x, you might be looking at prices that would be somewhere in the deeper extensions. Probably, let's see here. Right, because if that's a 50x at 219, then that would mean the 1886 would be an over 100x. You could even see prices go all the way up to the 2272. I know that sounds crazy, but that is doable. That's an achievable market cap. But that'd be pretty insane to see that kind of growth in the course of the bull market. So maybe eventually it goes up there, over time. But this cycle, I would say a little bit more grounded. I would look between here and here with hopes and dreams that it actually could go up here. And of course, it is possible it could go higher, but I would be more realistic with myself and consider these prices probably around the 1618 or maybe even 535 if I'm trying to be optimistic. At least above $70 though. I would say at least above $70. This thing does look good. So anyways, if you guys like the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to see more, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.